Okay, this is EM7 training. EM7 is the tool that SES-IRM is using to monitor pretty much all the network infrastructure. This includes router switches, the F5 load balancers, both local and global, the local traffic manager and global traffic manager, and also the firewalls that are on the perimeter, OpenNet and ClassNet. All of these devices are located at a few different sites: the AOC, double AOC, ESOC East, which is our secondary data center, SA4 and SA18, and as well as main state HST. The Home Service Center there's multiple ways to access EM7, but they have a console that's on a monitor on the wall where there's a dashboard. The dashboard views all the events that occur. Both OpenNet and ClassNet console is exactly the same, just different networks. This diagram, it's just a good overview of the network at all the locations. SA4 and SA18 is only on ClassNet. OpenNet is HST, primary data center, ESOC East, secondary data center, and then there are two alternate locations, which is AOC and AAOC. To access EM7, Chrome, we found out Chrome is the best browser to use. Pretty much if you go to HTTPS EM7, you can get to the site both on OpenNet and ClassNet. The username is help desk. It's a local account. It's not AD integrated. And the password you can find on the high side. So the dashboard. The dashboard is what mainly the help desk, the service center, will use to monitor events. The events occur, so you can see the dashboard is, if you click on dash. So the Home's help desk dashboard, which on the left you can see all the networking devices. This is all of OpenNet. It shows all the sites: SA18, ESOC East, AOC, HST. You can see all the sites. And then on the right side is the alerts. So when a device has a major or a critical event occur, the event will be placed over here, where you can troubleshoot and monitor more of the event. So dashboard view, you can see from the screenshot that this is actually a major event. Major event could be bandwidth usage or packet loss, things like that. It's not a critical outage that everything's down, but more of an outage, more of a event that needs to be looked into. So if you can see anything that has a green around it is a healthy device. It's monitored. There is no issues. No tickets need to be created. Tech staff doesn't need to be alerted. Nothing like that. A minor event, which could be plenty of different things: packet loss, interfaces that went down, that came back up. One example that we have that occurs a lot is SPAN interface, which is for monitoring traffic that goes across the network. They occasionally drop packets, but it's definitely not an issue that any tickets need to be created. A major event. So a major event is orange, and you can see in the dashboard it would show up orange, and also if you go to the registry, it would show orange around the site. But that's what a lot of it's just bandwidth usage. So threshold is usually 60%. If it goes over 60%, it'll show as a major event. No tickets need to be created. The service center can use major events to correlate additional issues if they think it needs to be, but usually it's not an issue. Critical events. So the critical events are devices down, devices failed, outages to our users, and these type of events need to be, first a ticket needs to be created, and if it's after hours, the tech on-call person needs to be contacted. Yep. So critical events are very serious. It causes outages to users. For each ticket, a critical event that took place, a room number needs to be added to SDE or the help desk software that's being used at the time of the event occurred. The host name or IP address, which are both not classified, so what network it's on and any issues. So it could be for like OCR, if the room 7428 has a outage, it's gonna has a critical event, it's gonna cause all of OCR to be down. So escalation, just like we said, create a ticket, assign it to tech, and that's it. After hours, same process, except the tech on-call person needs to be called for any critical event. So troubleshooting. One area to troubleshoot is if you click on registry, these are all the devices, which you can see from the dashboard as well. We can look at core switch 01, which looks like it has a minor event. If you click on the graph, take a second to populate. You can see that the ticket and event, it looks like it's dropping packets on the uplink, which is something that needs to be looked into. Also, the span is dropping packets as well. So we need to probably take a look at that. So what you can do is scroll up and look at interfaces, and then it'll show all the interfaces on the switch. So what we can look at is the uplink to HST distribution R1. If it's green, that means it's up. You tell it's 1 gigabit, admin status up, it's collecting everything. So you click on the interface, it'll show what percentage used is. I like looking at, if you click on network interfaces, uplink to R1, and then bandwidth usage, you can actually see how much bandwidth is actually going through. So we have a 1 gigabit link, it's using up to 350 meg, possibly up a little bit higher than that. You can see it's actually over the time, it's also going up to about 582, so we're running about 58% up to IRM. Using this, you can see bandwidth usage, you can see drop packets, things like that. You can also click on errors and discards and see how many discards are occurring. You can see that we're actually getting a decent amount of discards on going out, which could be an issue with the ASICs from IRM. And that's about it.
So a few questions on EM7 and the training we just got. What is the main difference between SCOM and EM7 as a monitoring tool? What's being monitored in SCOM versus EM7, and what should we be looking for in one versus the other?
So SCOM is just servers and applications, and EM7 is the network, which is the router, switches, pretty much the underlying infrastructure, the transport.
So if we have a critical event in SCOM versus a critical event in EM7, are they both equally important, or is one probably going to be a bigger issue than the other?
It depends, but usually if there's a critical event within EM7, that means users are down. Complete users are down. A critical event in SCOM might not be. Might not impact users. Also, within EM7, we don't have that many issues. It's very rare. I mean, we would have to have a major hardware failure or power outage for an event to become critical. Fiber cuts, things like that. It's usually a hardware-based failure.
What about, is there a knowledge base that you can use for troubleshooting? Sometimes there's additional information in the SCOM alerts that you can use to figure out what's going on.
The only thing is you can see if you click on the registry or even from the dashboard, which is the shared POEMS help desk, which is all users have access to. You can see that all the naming conventions, so naming conventions SES, so that's us, dash ESOC East, dash DC's data center, switch 01U. You can kind of read also down here SES, and then the location, which is HST, the room number 7241, and then it's unclassified. the naming convention on the high side is different, and this will be changing. But you can see that's pretty much all that you can get. There is guides on how to use EM7. I can send that out, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, if SES SA42 switch 02 goes down, it's going to take down all the users in that space. Same with SES HST room 111, it's going to bring down all the users. And then you can see the IP address associated. So like 1069.1.0/25 is all of the access switches on OpenNet at HST. And then 10.69.0.9 is the perimeter inside firewall. And then 1047.84.0/23 is all of the ESOC East data center. And you can find that on the tech website as well. All the IP addresses are on the tech website.